Oh, mother of mercy, I wouldn't have bet 5 cents that would happen.
They all should be here.
I didn't even know if I know how to start a meeting without.
Yeah.
Speaking. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Coffins, I gotta send him a text.
Barney, that's here. Did you want me to grab that? I can't.
Yes.
I can't. Maybe I don't need all this. I can grab it.
Sorry, it's coming. Might as well get used to taking.
Oh, yes?
I might as well get used to taking orders from you.
Pat, you can sit with us, right here.
He's like, no, thanks.
I know what you're looking for.
You've already said.
Wow. My wife won't believe this one. I'd like to call this meeting of the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board to order for November 5, 2015. Roll call, please.
Ernie Bassett,
Here.
Thomas Wood,
Here.
Martin Manick,
Here.
Michael Cash,
Here.
Michael Fave,
Here.
Rick Collins.
Resolution 214, approving the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of October 19, 2015 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Cash,
Yes.
Michael Fave,
Yes.
Ernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. We normally would go right into a public hearing, but it's not quite 7:05, so I think I'll move this along a little farther. What I'm giving you now is just a note sheet that I had made for this evening, in the event there's a reason to make any comments. Resolution 215, abstract 11A.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 11A-15, 1980 to 2106 for $351,840.71, and abstract 11A-15, 389 to 405 prepays in the amount of $453,348.67. Be received as reviewed by the audit committee and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Ms. LaFave, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Cash,
Yes.
Michael Fave,
Yes.
Ernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 216, 3% site plan return deposit for Consumer Square Phase 2 Site Plan Amendment 2013.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements for Consumer Square Phase 2 Site Plan 2013. Whereas the Consumer Square Site Plan Amendment for 2013 has on file with the Town of Plattsburgh a 3% deposit for construction of their project in the original amount of $3,744.99 plus accrued interest to date. Whereas the planning department has coordinated all inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to release of said deposit in the amount of $3,744.99 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded by the planning department secretary with the return of the deposit to Benderson Development.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manick,
Yes.
Michael Cassman, Michael Fave,
Yes.
Ernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. It is 7:05 right now, so I would like to open our public hearing. The public hearing will be to hear from individuals who would like to make comment or receive any written comments relative to the preliminary budget and our budget that's evolving for 2016, as well as the assessment rolls. Could I get a motion to open the hearing?
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Ms. LaFave, any discussion on that? All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are officially open. Is there anyone who has any written comments or would like to make comment on the items as indicated? If If not, we'll keep the hearing open and proceed with our meeting. Resolution 217, solarize, before I go any farther, Pat, were there any comments you wanted to make? I know we've had many discussions, but,
Enough meetings, we're under the tax cap, so we have filed our tax cap form today, and our tax-free certification was filed today also, or submitted, so, that's all we have to do for the controller's office. And, once this is approved on November 16th, then we'll file it with the Clinton County, and then we'll take it from there. Our final budget.
thank you. Dan, did you have any comments or concerns that haven't already been raised? Okay, thank you. Resolution 217, solarize the North Country Campaign MOU with Inca.
Whereas New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, NYSERDA, has initiated a program to encourage communities to adopt programs to support the installation of solar-generated electricity to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And whereas the Adirondack North Country Association has provided technical assistance to other communities and has a proven track record of success for community-scale mobilization of renewable energy efficient projects in the North Country. Whereas NICA and the town of Plattsburgh would like to participate in a proposed campaign to assist municipalities, businesses, and residential property owners to learn more about solar technology and coordinate large-scale procurement of solar installation in order to utilize substantial discounts for installation of solar panels for participating communities. Whereas the town of Plattsburgh supports an initiative and would like to encourage its residential, municipal, and commercial property owners to join with the town of Plattsburgh to generate more clean energy, reduce energy costs, and reduce carbon emissions. Therefore, be resolved that the town of Plattsburgh commit to participate with NICA in an initiative to solarize its community. And it be further resolved, the supervisor be authorized to sign the attached MOU to provide a letter of commitment to NICA to include the proposal to NYSERDA for the solarization campaign to be administered through NICA with local support provided by the town of Plattsburgh and volunteers. And a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the planning department.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
I second enthusiastic.
Ms. LaFave,
I'm sorry, I didn't say that. I am enthusiastic.
discussion. Any comments?
I just want to thank Meg for her hard work on this. Certainly, this continues to be something that the town of Plattsburgh is very optimistic about. And I think that this is just another demonstration of how we can reach out to citizens and provide them some, services to onboard to greener, more potentially efficient, electricity, et cetera. But I know Meg has really been working hard to get this moving forward, so I really appreciate her hard work and just want to thank her publicly.
Meg, there are a lot of people that do watch these meetings, and could you just summarize what the program potentially means for property owners in the town and actually even beyond?
Okay, so it's not a town program really, it's just a community program with Inca to basically bulk buying solar equipment and rates. The more people we can get on board, the more the rate will go down. And it's just an opportunity for residential and businesses to get some solar panels on their properties and lower their electricity rates and use a renewable energy source.
But isn't also include the fact that if we do this, we can extend the other credits that NYSERDA gives through part of next year? They wouldn't end in December?
Well, if they get in on it now, before the credits expire, yes, they will extend past it, as long as they're in the project before. But if they wanna get in on it after December 2016.
Then you wouldn't have the credits,
Right.
okay.
So. it's
So they
pretty
need
much now or
to
never.
get in on it
Yeah.
now, that's what I'm talking about.
But the other thing is, this is not going to work if the community doesn't pull through and volunteer and choose to be involved in a pretty heavy way. It's not an 8-month campaign and we need folks to get on board. I'll be helping, I'm sure Michael will help, Trevor will help, but it's not a town project, it's a community project.
Well, and that was the other person, I'm glad you brought Trevor up, because, you know, Trevor's done a lot of work, and continues, you know, I use the word loosely, because the word expert means a lot, you know, a lot of
He
different
is.
things to people, though, but he has a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and I think he's a great point person for the town of Plattsburgh as we continue to investigate, how to bring these types of services to people through collaboration and partnerships with Inca and others, so.
And Trevor's expertise is rooted in the fact that for a number of years, he has used solar energy, so he has some real personal hands-on experience with it as well. So anyone interested can certainly contact the town, contact, you know, Meg or Trevor or Michael individually, but we will be getting information out, I think, rather quickly. If this passes, I will sign off on this, you know, immediately, and we'll get it to Inca so we can get going.
Yeah, we have an application that we're in the process of filling out, and I'll hopefully complete that on Monday and get that to Inca, and
Great.
then we'll get rolling. Need some, I've reached out to some community members who have expressed interest in the past, and they said that they are interested. If I say their name on camera, they'll really be interested.
I think planning had 3 requests for permits this past month. It might be worth trying to find out who those people are and if they've made their commitment to purchase or not yet.
That's a good idea.
Could help them in the very short run, if they're not under contract already, and they might well be.
When if, you know, if the media gets out and we get this out, then who are they supposed to call to get into the program?
Well, I think at this point, you know, Meg, Mike, or Trevor would be fine. They can call my office. We'll take the name, get the information, and make sure and get it to them as well. But there will be a media release. We'll have information on our website, et cetera, to help people know what to do. I'm sure there'll be a meeting very soon.
A big part of our partnership with Inca is the media and the messaging. Getting it out there so people know how to get involved and how to participate and take advantage of it.
Possibly use email lists too.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Patrick.
Yes.
Michael Fave,
Yes.
Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 218, appointment of Brian Douglas as a laborer.
Whereas a vacancy exists for a position of labor in the building and grounds department that was duly posted. Whereas interviews for the aforementioned position were held by the members of the town board and superintendent of building and grounds. And whereas upon completion of the interviews, the committee recommendation is that town board consider Brian Douglas for the existing vacant building and grounds labor position. Whereas all employment verification and eligibility has been satisfied. Now therefore be resolved that the town board is hereby authorized to hire Brian Douglas to the position of labor at a rate paid as per contract effective November 8, 2015. And it be further resolved that the appointment become effective following final civil service approval, and that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents for the full-time appointment of Brian Douglas to the position of labor in the building and grounds department, with a probationary period not to exceed 12 months. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, superintendent of building and grounds, and one be forwarded to Clinton County Department of Personnel for filing.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion?
Well, we had participated in an interview with Mr. Rowe, and we had really 2 excellent candidates, but this one stood out a little bit, and he's had the experience of working here sometime on a temporary basis, and I think he's gonna be very good in this position.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Patrick.
Yes.
Michael Fave,
Yes.
Bernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Our public hearing has remained open. I'll ask if there's anyone else who has any comment to make or written comments to submit. And if not, I would seek a motion to close the hearing.
Can I ask if we're closing all?
All of them,
All of them?
yes.
That would include all the,
Budget as well as the assessment rolls,
the water district, sewer district, and the stormwater, et cetera.
correct.
Okay,
Can I have a motion?
so moved.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The hearings will be closed at 7:17. Bit of an unprecedented event, but one thing I will glean is budgets are certainly difficult. Everybody wants to reduce budgets. I hope the community, the majority of the community, remember we have reduced, we have contained, we eliminated some positions. We froze some salaries for the third year in a row, not with our labor force, not with our staff. We've, I think, done a good job, and when I say we, I mean our departments, to continue to provide services. I think we all talk with members of the community who acknowledge how much the town has grown in the last few years. There are many new businesses that are very visible, restaurants, stores, expansion of manufacturing and new manufacturing coming in. We haven't shrunk the miles of roads that we have to pave and maintain. The number of permits, applications that have come to us this fall reflects what's more typical to springtime. It's been very busy. But yet, we've contained costs, I think, in a very effective way, and we've taken on more duties. It's as this evening mentioned about Mr. Cole, who's been very active to support a variety of community activities. He doesn't get a stipend for that. Once in a while, there might be overtime, comp time for a meeting that we ask him to be at, but he doesn't get behind on the regular work either. We talk about 2% tax cap. I heard some people this fall talking about we had to stay under the 2% tax cap. I wish we could get 2%. We put a lot more money in our operating budget. The cap at 0.73 for 2016 and a multi-million-dollar budget brought us, and correct me if I'm too far off, Pat, about $65,000 of revenue that we could raise.
About 60 now.
Now it's about 60, it just keeps, it was 69 earlier this year. The point is, it's not much. When a snowplow can cost near $250,000, that kind of money won't buy tires for our fleet vehicles. We've had some good news with sales tax historically. This year, there's been a lot of mixed messages, but if our sales tax meets budget, I'll be happy. Pat has done an outstanding job as finance manager to provide a budget that works, that's meaningful, that our external auditors now are feeling much, much better. There are a couple items we're still working with, the software and water sewer, but as the auditors have also said, it's a problem producing forms, but producing the job is not a problem. And the way you're managing money is not a problem. So I do truly commend the departments, and again, Pat, who's, it's his job, he's the finance manager, but he makes it real personal as he works with the department heads, he talks with them, he makes sure they know what their budgets are. He tries to find ways to help us reduce costs, because there are always a lot of other places we're gonna need those dollars. Every office has helped with that, and I feel good about that. It's easy to throw stones at expenses. And I think God knows, I know I've said many times over the last 10 years, every one of us at this table is a property owner, is a resident of the community. And if we could keep things under better control to make our lives easier, to make living with our neighbors easier, we would. as I mentioned to someone not long ago, I remember the seventies with gas wars and shortages, and we had odd even days based on the numbers on your license plate when you could buy gas. I said, do you want odd even days we can plow your road? I don't know where else we cut. That is meaningful. I think the community has supported us. This community knew this was budget night. I think they trust us. And that means a lot to me as well. And that's my interpretation. Probably in the history of the town, Mr. Mannix, you may have been here the longest. I would suspect on budget hearing night, we've never seen as quiet a night as this one. And I think that's not apathy, I think that's trust and faith. I know in 2016, we'll continue to try and do the best we can. I personally know the supervisor is going to take over in 2016, and I know he's going to be very open to any suggestions of ways from residents that will help, because there's a lot to do. But I feel really good about this budget, and I think it's a good working budget, it's reasonable, and it kept costs down, so I'm pleased with it, and again, thank you, Pat, for your work on that. With all that said,
I
unless,
believe that would be seconded by all of us.
I hope
Department heads do play a big role in it though, so we have a good team that works well together, which is a great asset for the town, because if you don't have a team working together, it doesn't go as well. We're very fortunate to have a good team working here, so.
we really are, and you go out in the garage and you look at the equipment that they're welding sometimes
Right.
something to nothing. It's like trying to keep things going another mile, and
Or they find a piece of
Work
equipment
hard.
cheap and
Yeah.
it needs a little repair work, and they're able to do it here at the garage, saving, thousands and thousands of dollars.
I think they treat that equipment like their own as well, they take a lot of pride in
they
it,
really do.
and that's
They
really
do.
important.
It is important. And in each department, and you're right, it's good teamwork, and I'm proud of what they've done. With that said, unless someone has something else, that actually is the end of this meeting, and I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Ms. LaFave, any discussion? All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We will stand adjourned at 7:24. Drive safely.
Are ya?
Adjourned. That's what you said.
I'm not sold. Nicer.